And now Jupiter in Aquarius in the 9th house. So this is the 12th installment in my series on Jupiter in the 9th house in each zodiac sign. In the first installment, we established a basic interpretive template for Jupiter in the 9th house in general. We came to the conclusion that it indicates being very driven by ethics, being very intelligent and therefore good at guiding and managing others, and also being very prosperous, fortunate, and productive. Now we want to take that basic template and put it into the specific circumstance of being in Aquarius while in the 9th house. So we can leverage the whole sign house system, which I highly recommend you use, to get some interesting information about Jupiter in Aquarius in the 9th house. If Aquarius is the 9th house, then Pisces is the 10th and Sagittarius is the 7th. So if Jupiter is in Aquarius in the 9th house, that means that the 10th and the 7th lords are in the 9th house. And what does that mean? We can interpret that. Well, it means this person is very socially influential because the 10th Lord has to do with your social influence, and the 7th Lord has to do with your social influence, your social interactions, let's say. Taking the 10th and 7th Lords, making them the same planet, and putting that planet in the 9th house indicates prosperity in how one deals with society. Now, we want to compare that with the other things that we know about Jupiter in Aquarius in the 9th house. Let's start with just Jupiter in Aquarius. I do have a whole video explaining Jupiter in Aquarius. If you're interested in those details, the link is in the description below. The basic summary, however, is an iconoclast, which means that someone who does not really follow typical behavior. Also someone with a lot of popular appeal, and also somebody who tends to become wealthy. Now comparing that with what our general template for Jupiter in the 9th, which is to be ethically driven, to be quite intelligent and therefore a natural leader, and to be prosperous and fruitful. All we have to do is see where do these three columns line up, and where they line up, that's the way we want to interpret Jupiter in Aquarius in the 9th house. For example, Jupiter in the 9th is a natural guide, while the 7th and 10th lords in the 9th is very influential on society. Guide is someone who influences. So that goes very well with being socially influential. And Jupiter in Aquarius has a lot of popular appeal. So all three columns are really agreeing here. Therefore, if we see Jupiter in Aquarius in the 9th house, we think this person is a very popular person. Other people want to follow them. In other words, they're a popular leader. One other thing is Jupiter in the 9th house is supposed to be prosperous, and Jupiter in Aquarius is supposed to be wealthy. So this person has a good opportunity to develop a lot of wealth. Who do we know who has Jupiter in Aquarius in the 9th house? We know Queen Victoria. Is she an iconoclast? Well, you might say no, but actually yes, because she's Queen Victoria. You're not supposed to be a queen, there's supposed to be a king. Is she a popular leader? One of the most popular. And is she wealthy? One of the most wealthy. So she's quite an interesting illustration for Jupiter in Aquarius in the 9th house. But I hope you're not thinking that Jupiter in Aquarius in the 9th house means you become the Queen of England. So obviously you have to look at the whole context. In the Queen's case, what I would say is really the most important thing to note about her chart is that her ascendant, her moon, and her sun are all very close together. So besides empowering the ascendant, what that does is it aligns what's called a Sudarshan. It aligns the triplicate chart, which is the chart where the ascendant, the moon, and the sun are taken all three as focal points. So in other words, it's taking the first house of the moon and putting it in the same position as exactly the same position as the first house of the ascendant and the first house of the sun, and also putting that in exactly the same position as the first house of the moon and the ascendant. So what happens in charts such as this, you get, let's say, 3 times the expected effect of whatever else is in the chart. because it's in that position, let's say 3 times. From the ascendant, 1, from the moon, 2, and from the sun, 3. So that means she's getting this kind of multiplicative effect on this Raja Yoga, which is occurring in the 9th house, by virtue of it exchanging with the 10th house. The 10th house is an angular house. The 9th house is a trinal house. When an angular and a trinal house exchange, that's Raja Yoga, a yoga for success. So that Raja Yoga is occurring not just from her ascendant, but also from her moon and also from her sun. That explains why she's in such a powerful position. The wealthiness of her is by the multiplicative effect on her 11th lord, the lord of wealth. So notice that her 11th lord is in the 11th house, and it's with Venus, and amplified as well by Rahu. So not only are you getting this, let's say, triple amplification of the ascendants being all in the same place, but in addition, you're getting the amplification of Rahu. So that's really bringing out the wealthy potential of Jupiter and Aquarius in the 9th, and the multiplied Raja Yogas of the 9th and 10th house exchange is really bringing out the leadership potential of Jupiter and Aquarius in the 9th house. If you want to understand the whole context of your chart, the soil in which your interpretive seeds grow, then visit my website, vicdecara.com, and click Readings. My complete chart report explains each and every nook and cranny of your chart and will keep you occupied in self-discovery for years. I also have 2 groundbreaking new reports. The first of these, Your Nakshatra, organizes your active nakshatras in order of their importance to you and presents the fundamental interpretations for the planets that occupy them. And the newest report, Star Strength, uses a system called Tarahabala to unfold 90 interpretations of the nuanced relationships between all the planets in your chart, which paints a rich and detailed picture of how your various strengths cooperate or compete with each other. Order these or any of my reports and accelerate your journey to deeper self-understanding.